So we are going to tell you about the Pastor Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech. It was delivered on August 28, 1968, on the step of the Lincoln Memorial in Washington during the March for Job and Freedom. This speech was performed in front of a lot of demonstrators, and it called for an end to poverty and racism in the United States, and demand equal economic civil rights between white and African American. After slavery was abolished in 1865 in the United States, and 100 years later, black and white are far from having the same right. First of all, the speech begins with a reference to the emancipation that freed millions of slaves in 1863. It will then continue with the phrase, 100 years later, black is still not free, is sentence. Begin with the anaphora 100 years later each time. Like a good speaker, as soon as he announced one of his ideas, such as discrimination or poverty, he will argue them by starting his sentence with catchy and repetitive words. He utters his strong sentence, which is 1963 is not an end. So it is a beginning. He also say, we will never be satisfied as long as black is the victim of the unspeakable horror of police brutality, and only white are admitted to denounce racism. He wants to see two communities live in peace and harmony, that he calls for fraternity and solidarity by insisting on the peaceful dimension of his fight. Let us not seek to quench your thirst for freedom by drinking from the cup of bitterness and hatred. He said, Martin Luther King is a supporter of non-violent methods. He thinks that no matter the skin color of the inhabitant, diversity is something beautiful.
And after listing all the facts, he will explain his dream. He dreams that in America, all men are equal, and offers his listeners an utopian world. For example, he says, I dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, and I dream that one day little black boys and little girls, white women, will be able to join hands like brothers and sisters. He finds his hopes in youth. He never ceases to remind people that men are free and equal brothers by pronouncing the words fraternity, freedom, and justice. At the end of his speech, he refers to a song of slaves, saying, free at last. To finish, despite the hardships that Luther King went through, he won the Nobel Peace Prize in 1964. He died assassinated in 1968. This speech is considered one of the most important of the 20th century. It marked the spirit. Martin Luther King made words his greatest weapon that day.